Welcome back, everybody, to the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise, where once again, we are on the road to the Super Bowl in 2031. We open in the wild card round by taking on the number 3 seed, Pittsburgh Steelers. Our team has played in each of the past 2 Super Bowls, both against the Giants, winning one and losing one last season. And there is still a possibility this matchup could occur for a 3rd consecutive year. And this very easily could have never happened at all, as we started the year 2-6. This team was in rough shape through week 8. I ended up trading away one of our top free agent additions in Jordan Mailata. And once that move was made, the offense then began to figure everything out. And the defense fell into place, and we only lost one more game the rest of the way. So there's nothing too special about a 10-7 season, it's just an odd route that we took to get here. But now we're back in the postseason with Chuck Johnson, who has now engineered this team to 2 Super Bowl appearances. And he's a veteran, on that big contract trying to take us back yet again. Joe Johnson put up excellent numbers at running back, earned his big 5-year extension, and now helps lead our offense into the postseason. But one player I'm really paying attention to here is Kevin Parker. I think if there's a storyline to think about going into this postseason, it's can we stay healthy? We have had big injury concerns in 2 of the past 3 postseasons. The one where those injuries didn't happen, we won a ring. Now in his 3rd season, Kevin Parker has emerged as perhaps our best receiver now, but he's gotten banged up in the last 2 postseasons and barely played in those key games. Our defense is in really good form going into the postseason, especially at linebacker, where Chuck Dalton is coming off one of the best stretches of his entire career. But I don't think this unit is as dominant as some of our past defenses. And then there is one change I'd like to make for the offensive line. Patrick Paul helped us replace Jordan Mailata, but he has allowed 8 sacks in the meantime. And I think there's a player who deserves a little more opportunity, especially going into the postseason. He has been on this team from the very beginning, and Anton Harrison is going to be our starter at left tackle. He has been reliable this year on around 400 downs played. And I've kept him around this entire time because he can fill in a pinch. The only time he started the majority of games for us was back in 2025. That was year 1 of the franchise. And yeah, that was rough. He gave up 14 sacks. But since then, he's only given up 1. And that's on over 750 downs played going back to 2026. What if the answer was here all along and I just didn't realize it? We are without 2 players, though, because of injury. J.D. Short, who continues to recover from the compound foot fracture. He could return, potentially for the Super Bowl. But Dontavian Wicks, he is out for the season. And just in case we need another receiver on the team, I'm going to sign wide receiver Nico Collins, who has been so good against us in the past with the Texans in this franchise. I think he could still fill in if we needed him to. And in case the injuries add up in the defensive secondary, we are going to bring in veteran Jair Alexander. And the wild card playoffs have us matched up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They posted the same record as us this season, but had a lot more pass production behind Gerald Cameron, 38 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. I don't think he always had star development. I think he earned this. And his accuracy is top-notch underneath and with medium accuracy. Kendrick Judge, 873 yards and 9 touchdowns. I believe he was a Rookie of the Year winner at one point. And wide receiver Dylan Norton, he was their leading receiver this year. He is in his 5th year out of Florida State, and he lines up alongside George Pickens. And you'll have to also remember, this is where we sent Jordan Mailata to. It just didn't seem like he was working out with us, and at 2-6, it made some sense to maybe get a little bit of draft pick value in return. It looks like he was perhaps a bit more reliable in Pittsburgh, giving up 4 sacks compared to 8 when he was with us. But today he's going to have to block Martin Cooper and our defensive front. Defensively, Rashad Good, yeah, he was on our team last year. We signed him despite him coming back from injury, but then he goes off to Pittsburgh and now posts a very good breakout season on his 4th team in 4 years. It's always so interesting how in these franchises we have so many stories that come full circle when we end up facing players that were a part of our team, even for just a little while. But you know what time it is, everybody. Postseason action again here in the Jaguar franchise. We have rebuilt this team into a championship contender, and we're planning for a little bit longer stay at the top of this conference. We have won the AFC pennant equivalent, whatever they call it here in football. And now we're looking to make it 3 straight. But we got to be road warriors here starting in Pittsburgh. And we are underway. Playoff football back in action. And this is going to be taken out to the 23, make it 28-yard line, actually. I saw there was an update today. I was hoping that eventually they'd fix the score bug and the home team logo showing up properly. I still think that's the silliest thing ever. That's peak modern gaming for you. 1st and 10, Jaguars, and it's going to start with Joe Johnson getting to the edge. Got a block on the play from Anton Harrison, and I'm certainly going to be keeping a lot of attention on him today, because we want to make sure he's the right guy for the postseason. But what about beyond? Oh, I had no idea Pittsburgh was missing 2 of their top playmakers. Okay, we're going to have to talk about that when they get the football. I'm not seeing a lot of star power on this defense. And we're going to go play action, get Chuck running with it, and he takes off into Pittsburgh territory. But I'll say regarding Anton Harrison, this is not just the tryout for the postseason run, but perhaps next season as well. We've seen in this series, sometimes higher overall players with higher pass blocking just don't get the job done. Maybe there's more to the offensive line ratings, considering there are so many attributes there. And now Johnson is going to go down, as that pressure, I believe, was given up by Briscoe. Harrison was still engaged with his defender at the time of contact. We bunch up receivers now on the right side. We're going to flip this one to Kevin Parker. He bounces away and loses 2. 3rd down and 15. Johnson pressured. He gets away. Angles outside, and perhaps it's close enough now for a field goal try. Always love seeing Chuck scramble to create some extra yardage for us. So here's Brandon Aubrey. 52 yards on a line, and it is good. So Gerald Cameron has an offense now missing the top running back and top receiver today. He is still an excellent quarterback that can elevate this team, and we'll see if he can do it against this defense. We know this team can show up in the postseason. At the top here, we got Stanley Billups at corner. The blitz is on. That's going to be a TFL. These linebackers have been all over the field in recent games. It's been a lot of blitzing, a lot of big hits, turnovers. These guys are in great form. 2nd down and 16. That is Chuck Dalton shooting the gap. This guy has become like a superstar in the last 5 weeks. I hope it's not a mirage. 3rd down and 15, and Cameron loses it, and Pittsburgh is lucky to fall on it. Jordan Mailata with one of his biggest plays of the year, landing on that fumble. Set to get the ball back now. That's a booming kick. And it's going to be Reuben Ross back to the 45-yard line as we try this all over again. Ross also playing the slot. And here is Joe Johnson with that excellent burst of speed. Does Pittsburgh have that front 7 beef that can slow down this rushing attack. 40 plus on 5 carries now. Johnson back to pass. Caught by Joe, and that is a Jaguar first down. Cormier checks into the game now, and on the slant, that's Kevin Parker, 9 yards. Oh, threw it right to the defense that time, and Pittsburgh misses a chance at getting the football back. Chuck has to take better care of the ball. Now tosses out. Here's Johnson flying his way inside the 5. Those first few steps, man, that acceleration is just next level. 2 yards away. Johnson to throw. And wide open. That is a Kevin Parker touchdown. It is all Jaguars early, 10-0. Down below, the Colts have defeated the Houston Texans. They are still alive. Pittsburgh is looking deep, and Cameron misses the receiver. Cameron blitzed and sacked by Ezra Telfer. What a time to break that one out. Completely unblocked off the edge. And for the second straight possession, it is 3rd and a mile. And they throw a screen that Telfer ends for a loss of 2. I'd love for this to be a nice, quick start to the postseason. Jaguars on a roll. This is a team that was 2-6, then rattled off an 8-1 stretch to get here. As hot as anybody in the postseason. Johnson, he gets away and now accelerates. 89 yards on 8 runs. He is only getting started. Joe Johnson continues to pile on the yards, closing in on 100. We're not out of quarter number 1 yet. We're wearing these Steelers out right now. And now Johnson goes down. Well-timed blitz. Need the Pittsburgh 24. Chuck is looking to the end zone. Parker! Touchdown! A sliding grab. And 6 on the board. You just couldn't throw that football any better. Johnson lofts this one up. And it's going to land where only Kevin Parker can get it. Hey, I said Kevin Parker was one of those players you had to watch out for today. Big trouble in Pittsburgh. It is 17-0. And the Steelers have minus 24 yards. They'll finally get a nice positive play here. But they're going to need something big to get them back in this. On the toss to the outside, they trap Steele in the backfield, and he loses 3. And now Jordan Mailata is going to come off the field. 2 3-and-outs to open their day. Now 3rd and 5 as they spread the defense out, and Cameron has it nearly picked by Billups. Can Pittsburgh find a way to slow us down? Sacking Chuck Johnson might be the only way. 3rd down and 13. Now Chuck's going to throw it on the move, and Parker is all by himself. Nobody within 15 yards of him. Underneath for Thomas Ridley now, 8 yards. At the Pittsburgh 44, and that is a first down run for Joe Johnson. He's now at 98 yards and like 11 or 12 carries. I may have to manage these carries here in the middle of this game, especially if the lead stays this wide. I mean, nothing's going right for these guys. Now they jump into the neutral zone. Johnson for Reuben Ross now, who takes off. And it's 1st and goal, Jags. On 2nd down, Johnson open, touchdown. And it's Nico Collins. Now with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's in the end zone, and it's 24-0. I mean, we are making this look so easy right now. And welcome to Jacksonville, Nico Collins. Why am I seeing here on this screen that Kevin Parker is hurt? I just tried to reshuffle some things in the depth chart. Kevin Parker, broken ribs. I must have missed the play that happened. Hopefully he doesn't miss more postseason time, but he's probably done for the day. Here's Cameron. He's going to loft it long, and that is out of the field of play. Not much to cheer about for Pittsburgh fans. Cameron. That one is complete for 7. Good protection. Cameron, a first down, and they're into Jag territory for the first time. Off the fake. Cameron in trouble. Fires a laser. There is Pittsburgh going down to the 1. A catch by Holmes has set them up. And they'll try to cut into this lead. They don't have Kendrick Judge, so they're going to elect to throw it, and it's broken up by Telfer. A run this time, and they are into the end zone. Pittsburgh scores. Demetrius Steele. I believe that is Kevin Green now at running back, and he's going to get the call now. I do have Cormier set to get a lot of the carries now, as we are going to have somebody come off. We go back to the air on second down. Benji Cormier bottled up. And here's third down. Pittsburgh with pressure. Caught by Ross. Into Pittsburgh territory, and the hits keep coming. Anton Harrison will leave the field. We set up a screen, and maybe that's a sign I picked the wrong version of this playbook, honestly. We might not be using my newest revision here for this game, and there is a penalty marker down, so we're going to back up even further. So Pittsburgh is trying to get this game under control now, and they're down 17. They get 87 seconds here, and then the ball after halftime. So Cameron needs to make the most of it. There's 10 going to George Pickens. Good protection, and now time does run out. If it were a quick pass, there was time for that, but you don't always get the chance to extend on this defense. Third down and 14 now for Cameron. And they're just going to run it right up the middle, and we can decline that penalty. Johnson's going to spread this defense out and start to pick them apart. Complete to Brian Thomas. Cormier in at running back, and Johnson settles it underneath again. That's Nico Collins. Suddenly having to play a little bit more. I did make him the number 4 receiver on the depth chart. Now Johnson dumps it, and that's Kevin Green. So we're going to burn our last timeout, and with 23 seconds, we'll see what we can do. Here's Johnson, and he throws it away. So that's probably going to do it now for the first half. Really important for Pittsburgh to get this second half off to a good start. Cameron swings it out. It just feels like we have 15 guys on defense sometimes. I don't think I've ever been more impressed with the play at Chuck Dalton. Now a great catch made on the outside. And that's brought out to the 40. And that's C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who was defending. Just nice play there by Pittsburgh. Now they keep it on the ground, and good tackle, not much there. And don't even tell me now that Walker has to exit. What is it about the postseason and injuries on this team? So we're missing a lot of key players right now, and we'll give up the first down on the steal run. Cameron's going to buy time and take off now and go pick up about 6 yards. Not a huge scrambling threat, but it's nice seeing quarterbacks just take off when there's obvious space. Now 3rd down. Pittsburgh really needs this conversion, and they're not going to get it. Well covered on the play. And the offense will stay on. It is the right call here on 4th and 3. And a 4-man rush is picked up, and that's not going to get it. Short of the marker, and Holmes is maybe a half yard shy. And that'll give it back to the Jaguars, who would love to put this game out of reach. Off the fake, and Johnson met again. They've had some well-timed blitzes on these play actions, but we've been really good on 3rd down. As long as we give Chuck a little time here, he knows what to do, and does it again. Having no problem linking up with Nico Collins. Man, has it really been that long? Because in the early years of the franchise, man, Nico was making all kinds of plays against us. There's Thomas now holding on. Like, I know we're, year 7 now. Feels like it just doesn't sound right. Nico Collins came into the league super young, too, I remember. One of the youngest players, I think, in that class. And now he's like the old veteran ring chasing at the end of his career. As we get sacked again. 3rd and 17 here for Johnson, and he can't get away from the pursuit. And that was Rashad Good. We're set to try a 55-yard field goal now. Aubrey got it, putting the Jaguars up 20. This is Cameron. And the pressure surrounds him, so he gets rid of it. I think our defense has done a good job playing to our strengths so far. Now, we are without Trayvon Walker, so we only have 3 of our promising front 4 starters. Billups all over that play. They have not been able to find much production there in the flat. Gregory Rossum, bottom of the screen, number 25. As the pass is jumped, Stanley Billups, the playoff playmaker, takes it to the end zone. You know Billups shows up when the lights shine brightest. That's just been his game for the last few years. This guy loves Wild Card Weekend. The first 3 interceptions of his career came in Wild Card Weekend just a couple years back. And there he is again, and he might have sealed this game. Pittsburgh rallying on their next possession, but down 34-7. That pass is intercepted. And Cameron's going to have to make the tackle. And that is Demarion Overshown. It's been all Jaguars here on Wild Card Weekend. Final score, Jaguars 41, Steelers 13. A dominant start as we make it to the division round. Chuck Johnson, 4 incompletions, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. But not a perfect quarterback rating, no. He could have done better. Gerald Cameron, just 2 interceptions. Didn't really look all that comfortable when we were watching. I think a lot of these yards came in the sim garbage time. But Joe Johnson, the vast majority of his yards came in the first, and then there wasn't much need to feed him the football the rest of the way. We give a lot of those late carries to Kevin Green. And we await the injury status of Kevin Parker, as I was not expecting to see Nico Collins play this much. Even Jacoby Starling had a late touchdown. Trayvon Walker, 4 TFLs, 2 sacks. That's another injury that could have a huge impact. Reuben Ross gets a slot upgrade, getting route running, carrying, juke. He's made a lot of progress this year. But let's check these injuries. We do have 2 new ones. And we are again going to see Kevin Parker miss a lot of postseason action. Trayvon Walker also out now with a broken thumb. And these guys might not even be able to return for the Super Bowl. 5 weeks on broken ribs. I'm used to this being like a 1-week injury, I thought. Maybe I'm off in this game. But man, Parker hit again in the postseason for the 3rd straight year. So now that signing of Nico Collins is key. So is, what we've done this year developing Reuben Ross. Imagine I wasn't playing him and suddenly he just had to kind of get thrown in there when the injuries showed up. At least now we know he can handle it. Let's see who we play next then. The division round follows. And we're taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. We have a little history with this team. We had our first playoff win in the entire series against these guys. We also faced earlier this season, and this was the game that helped us start to put the pieces back together again. A 34-20 win in pretty dominant fashion. Can we repeat that now and make it back to the AFC title? And we have to find a way to replace that Kevin Parker production. One thing we know, though, at this stage is that we will not be having a Super Bowl rematch this year, as the Giants were just taken down by the Seattle Seahawks. There will be a new winner in the NFC. The Giants will not defend their title in the Super Bowl. And we'll continue on now as the 6th seed taking on the number 1 Raiders. And if we can move on from that, it's either the Colts or the Bengals. A matchup against Indianapolis with that much on the line in the AFC Championship would be an incredible story, especially given our history and our upper hand against them in recent years until this past season where they kind of turned the tables on us. But are the Jaguars able to handle making a run despite missing 3 key starters right now? And I'm not sure Walker or Parker are going to be able to come back, period. And that is going to bring today's episode to an end. I know it's a shorter video. I wanted to experiment a little bit here, but I'll be back again soon to continue this postseason run. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and the postseason action in the Jaguars franchise will continue next time. Take care, everybody.